Grab your cocktail and get ready for this episode of the Old Fashioned Masonic Podcast. Welcome to the Old Fashioned Masonic Podcast, where we talk all things Freemasons while drinking an old fashioned. I'm Brian, and on the screen, heavens forbid, the northeast part of the United States is in the house. Welcome, Dave Van Pelt. How are you, my friend?
Thank you very much, Brian. It's truly an honor to be here with you this evening.
So we were talking about, I'm going to spill some secrets. We were talking about before we got on. Oh, Dave Van Pelt was a little nervous about doing this, because it's not natural to do a podcast. And I tell everyone, so I told Dave, I was like, everyone's nervous, but by the time it's over, it's going to be great. And most of our viewers won't even know that you're nervous. Fellas, if you think you saw that he was nervous, put it in the comments and say you saw it. You saw his nervous tick. But before, we don't want to make him too nervous. So, Dave, have you ever watched an episode of the podcast?
I've watched plenty. I've caught up much in the past couple months with some of your work. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I appreciate it. So we like to know as much about the man as we do Masonry. So I'm going to push Masonry to the side just for a second. Why don't you let our listeners know who Dave Van Pelt is?
Well, I guess first and foremost, I'm a husband and a father. My wife, Jessica, engaged in 2011. I actually proposed to my wife on the steps of the United States Capitol building down in D.C. Wow. A little story I always like to kind of throw out there.
Yeah.
We live in Lake Apacon, New Jersey. Two wonderful, beautiful children. Alexander, 9. Benjamin, 2. Ben's the new guy to the family. He's my little baby these days. So yeah, family's my huge thing in life. I find my balance, and I do what I got to do, and man, we have a good life. I'm a small business owner. I own a VP Security here, based out of Lake Apacon. Basically, providing security cameras, IT solutions to homes, businesses in the northeast northern New Jersey. I own a 501c3 charity actually as well too, called VP Charity. We founded that in, I believe, 2016. Right around the time we actually had children. So, the charity, we really went head on with doing it. And then, our first son came, and, life got tough, as I'm sure you know. And, we kind of had to put it on pause. And then we wanted to show him the value of that. So we started doing some events, and then we had our second kid, and, our most recent one we've done actually, our most recent one, we did a Hurricane Helene relief up here in New Jersey.
Oh, nice.
Actually in conjunction with New Jersey Freemasonry. And, right after the hurricane happened, we raised about $15,000, which I believe was matched on their end, and sent that down to the North Carolina Masonic Hurricane Foundation, I believe it was, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And we also loaded up a truck. We had so many donations. We loaded up a brother's trailer, and another brother rented a U-Haul, and we sent them down to Tennessee. Originally, they were going to North Carolina, but they couldn't get there. So Tennessee it was. So, we love to give back when we can. Again, it's tough, balancing family and Freemasonry and hobbies.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that some people, if you're not a Mason yet, I hear this a lot. People will say, man, I'd love to become a Mason, but I don't know that I can give up that time. And my comment to everyone is this. I appreciate you being conscious about this. You can be busy, though, in Masonry 1 night a month or 7 days a week. No matter what your level of participation is, nobody's going to judge you. So I would actually encourage you to come in with a goal of doing less and make them inspire you to do more. That's kind of my belief on that. So, because you've heard that really, before, right? You've heard the same comment.
Absolutely. And, that's a great philosophy. And, for the uninitiated, 1 day a month, you tell your wife, but for the initiated, it's, you're right, and it all depends what you want to put into it and how much responsibility you really take on in the end. That kind of dictates what you do on a weekly basis.
Yeah, that's right. When I got in early, just blowing and going, and our lodge was so massive.
Yeah.
You know, we were doing degree work literally 5 days a week. When you raise 40, 60, 80 people a year, you're constantly busy. And then become a master of that size of a lodge, with, at the time over 1,000 members and all of these things. But with me, there are times where I don't do anything Masonic even in a month other than maybe a podcast. So the great thing about Masonry is, though, I can be away from what I'd call super active and then walk back in, and it's like you never left. That is one of the great things about the fraternity. And it doesn't matter what body of Masonry you jump into. You always feel like, hey, Byrd, where have you been? It always feels like home. It's always welcoming, at least from my perspective. And I think that's one of the cool secrets of Masonry.
And, and from my mind and your perspective too, doing things for the local lodge is great, but doing things for the fraternity and the brothers as a whole, the bigger picture of it, which is exactly what you're doing, is really the true mission. And,
we all have a niche, right? And whatever our Masonry is, it ebbs and flows. So whether you're saying, hey, I don't ever want to be an officer of a lodge, for example, but I'll help you on social media. Great. I don't ever want to be an officer of a lodge, but I want to help in the community outreach. Great. We need as many doers as we do the leaders, and there's a place for everyone, no matter what you think you want to do or inspired to do. Masonry has it for you. So we've teased Masonry enough.
Absolutely.
So let's walk us through your Masonic journey, why you joined up until today.
I knew a little bit about Masonry. I studied up on it. I'm a big history guy, so every day I'm always looking at history stuff. And then one day we were in Charlie Brown's, me and my wife, just having dinner at the bar, and I look over, I see this guy next to me, and I see this Masonic pin. I start talking to him, and next thing I know, I'm an officer. Before that, our Master Mason degree, it was an outdoor moonlight degree, freezing awesome. Cold. One of them degrees you remember forever, just because it was so cold and rainy.
Yeah, frostbite's forever.
I'm a member of St. John's Lodge, #1, Mountain Lakes, New Jersey, which I love to, tout, the #1, established 1761 before the United States was even a country. Yeah, pretty cool. Obviously we were located originally in Newark. Now we're located in Mountain Lakes, Morse County, New Jersey, if you're familiar with the area at all. Nice, beautiful lakefront property we got. About 2000, I was asked to be a Grand Lodge District Education Officer. Worshipful Master 2023 in my lodge.
Okay.
At the same time, District Education Officer. The president of the North Jersey Past Masters Association here in New Jersey. It gets worse. I know, I'm not joking. Last year, great accomplishment I felt I had in my life. I ran and was elected for a 3-year term for a Grand Lodge trustee for the Grand Lodge of New Jersey.
Nice.
Very, very easy times traveling around the state, talking to brothers, and just kind of getting out there. It was truly a wonderful experience to meet and get to know so many just amazing guys in that period.
Right.
I'm an officer in AMD, Royal Arch, Grotto, Scottish Rite, in a couple different bodies. I'm a member in Royal and Select Masters, Knight Masons, and I actually joined the Scottish Rite Southern jurisdiction as well. I joined the Valley of Baltimore, Maryland, because it was really one of the closest valleys I could find. I wanted the DC temple, and I would have took that extra 45-minute ride, but the days of the week really just didn't jive with my other priorities.
Right. So everything I'm hearing, if folks you are listening, very busy guy. So what I'm hearing is you don't eat dinner at home a lot.
I try my best. My wife is an amazing woman when it comes to, doing my thing with Masonry. She supports it. She encourages it.
One of the reasons this channel started was to put a face on Masonry, right? And, a lot of channels, they talk about all the great things. And listen, there are a million great things about Masonry. Well, we'll talk about the great things. We talk about the things we need to improve. But more than anything, we talk about real life. We talk about the struggles sometimes with balancing time between, that 24-inch gauge, that lesson, let me just tell you, it's something that stays in your mind. And if you're really paying attention to it, it's really not hard, but damn, it's hard sometimes just to balance out life. But it's one of the things I tell folks about Masonry is there's nothing so profound that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, I became a Mason. I tell everyone Masonry reminds you of all the things that you should be doing, but the difference is you have a lot of other men around you that are focused on that same goal, and they're there to remind you that we're all on that same path. So when we say, as Masons, we want good men so we can make good men better. And some people say, how? Well, that's how. We're all on the same journey, and we have a bunch of workout partners. We know working out's the right thing to do, but it's really easy to say, I'm not going to the gym today. But when you have other brothers that say, sometimes it's hard to do the right thing. It's not, but it is. You're like, you're fighting the angel and the demon, but when you have more brothers around you, they're always wanting you to be a better person. And that's one of the real secrets, in my opinion, of Freemasonry. So
completely agree, and doing it, such amazing guys being mentored, being taught, just seeing, learning.
And the age gaps, we learn something from everybody.
And I learned stuff from the younger guys. You learn something from everybody. And you know what? All you can do is take it in and let it elevate you,
Absolutely. If you're willing to learn, there's so many opportunities in Masonry. So let's talk about this. So those who joined in from the thumbnail, we're talking about the fraternal focus of the 21st century. So what prompted you to start Fraternal Focus? And let's kind of start there and let's deep dive this. So what prompted you to start Fraternal Focus?
So I don't even know if I would say that what prompted me to start it.
Were you voluntold?
I was kind of voluntold. No. I was voluntasked.
Okay, all right.
So we had a video committee in New Jersey a couple years back. And it didn't gain really much traction, and it was something that they wanted. The membership committee really wanted to revive a little bit. So, Right Worshipful Art Campbell, chairman of the membership committee, asked me to get the job done because I'm a good guy that likes to get jobs done. So he thought I was a good fit for it, and kind of just ran with it. And it's been a fun and very rewarding project. We put together a small group of guys we rebranded our video committee as Digital Doorway, kind of created Fraternal Focus as another little branch of it. And with the Fraternal Focus, it's kind of where we do our AI generated videos. And we're doing other stuff too. We're going to be rolling out a short interview line with brothers from within New Jersey. And again, without two, maybe not on the scale of a full blown podcast, but, just short interviews to kind of, bring some light to the brothers. Again, like you said, get to know people, get people's stories out there, because people's stories, I mean, the differences that make us are truly what make this fraternity great, and we should all learn from other people.
Yeah, so, I agree.
But yeah, it's been a good ride. We've had some good videos. I'm on approach of about 100 videos released. But now it's, we always look to different stuff to expand to different projects, different ideas. You kind of get relaxed doing the same thing over and over.
Complacency kills.
Complacency kills. So you kind of want to make it fresh, make it new, and give guys, because look, what I'm doing with this might not be for everybody. Everybody might not like that, but an interview with somebody, a lodge spotlight highlighting a lodge, their history, the brothers within it, everything appeals differently to people. So you just got to kind of mix it up.
Yeah, I agree. One of the cool things, and those who are watching, we put the handles across the bottom for their YouTube channel and their Facebook as well. So Masons love to kind of promote other Masons. And the cool thing about Fraternal Focus and what you just said is everyone's trying to find a lane, right? And there's a lot of Masonic podcasts and there's a lot of Masonic everything, but we've all got a niche, right? This channel certainly is not for everyone. But more than anything, it gives folks resources to say, well, New Jersey's saying this. Kansas, Texas is saying this. It seems to be kind of the flow, and I think reality is the key. So let me ask you this. So since you started this for Fraternal Focus, reinvigorated it, what kind of feedback are you getting?
The feedback's been good. We're getting support from, within the brothers in New Jersey. A lot of people like the videos. Our Grand Lodge, our Grandmaster, Deputy Grandmaster, Omar Morris, and Gene Margroff, our current Grandmaster, have been very supportive in the process. And they give me autonomy to really do what I got to do. I haven't, how about this, in this line of work, no news is good news, but really what we're trying to do here, and as you know, is just open Freemasonry up to the outside world. Yeah. These videos, as much as they are meant for Freemasons, they're meant for the people that aren't Freemasons to get a glimpse into what we do, what we practice, what our beliefs are, and kind of open their minds to it. What Freemasonry offers, leadership within the lodge and programs, education. Not the secrets to the universe, of course, unless they just haven't given those to me yet. I don't know.
I got to tell you, once you've been in 30 years, you get it. That next day, it comes in a manila envelope. It's all there.
So only soon. About 15 more to go, and I'll be
soon,
all right.
My friend, soon.
But it really has been a fun experience to just kind of do this. And look, each video I make, I learn something new.
Yep.
And I hope everybody to watch it. We don't have a following just yet, like the Old Fashioned Masonic Podcast, but we aspire to, and we're working there. We have our Grand Lodge annual communication up November 4th through 6th. In Atlantic City, we do it.
Oh, nice.
And we got a vendor table for that. So we're going to be highlighting some videos, doing on-the-spot questions and answers, interviews with some brothers, some of the elected line, whoever comes across our path. We're looking to make this a fun experience, spread the word, and kind of get it out there a little more to the guys that may not know it exists within our own state, So.
Right. The great thing about the technology we have in the 21st century, we really can put a focus on the fraternity. And, a lot of the lodges, you may not be able to afford to have this robust website, and that's fine. If you're going to have a website, the minimum you just need to do is keep it current. If you're not going to keep it current, shut it down. Social media pages are where people go. Find you a younger person in the lodge or somebody, keep your social media running. And if we're not literally right here, we're nowhere. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I mean, if we're not on a tablet, if we're not on the computer, we are nowhere in this world. And I think if we leverage technology just a little, we're not saying, go get you a studio set up and get lighting and camera and all of this. But it doesn't take, if you've got a smartphone, it takes nothing to throw together a quick little video. The editing tools are free, and it's just a little bit of effort.
You can get some good $50 lapel mics right on Amazon these
days.
Man,
let me just tell you, you're spending big bucks. My lapel mics are $30 for a 3-pack. So, but you're right. It doesn't take a lot it just takes the right attitude and a little bit of effort, and you can really put your lodge on the map, especially if you're in a smaller community. If you want to instantly get an impact for your lodge, get on social media. Put the right people there to start it, and think about the message that you want to have. So, in general in Masonry, what do you think are biggest headwinds that you're seeing moving forward with regard to men joining Masonry? What kind of headwinds are you seeing? Why aren't men joining?
It's a tough road. Why aren't men joining? That's a tough one. I don't know if I can really answer that. The world is a changing place. You said everybody is so glued to their phones. Everybody's so busy, it feels like, in this day and age. I don't have time for that. My wife doesn't want me to do that. Well, whatever the case, Right. And again, even guys that do join, as I'm sure you hear the same stuff. So it's tough, and I feel, we need to keep it visible, relevant, and going. We need to keep it alive, and we need to keep it accessible to people.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and I think that's what the Fraternal Focus is doing for New Jersey. You're making it accessible. Here's the other thing. I know you're making it for your internal customers, right? Your external customer, your non-Masons are going to see it. But for your internal customers, your Masons, they're going to see some stuff on podcast channels or something that your lodge will do or Fraternal Focus will do or the Grand Lodge of New Jersey, all the different things. And that might just inspire them to say, whoa, when did we start doing this as a Grand Lodge? That's cool. I want to be part of that. And so many people, if you don't go to lodge, you're kind of cut off from communications, right? And I think This is just another way of us communicating to our craft where you don't have to sit there and listen to it in minutes, right? Yep. I just think that there's a way to do it. And I think a lot of lodges, something so simple as the master at the end of a meeting, they get over in front of a camera and they can do just a kind of a quick recap of the meeting. Hey, brother, sorry we missed you. This is what we talked about, and this is the new committee we're starting. But sometimes folks, it's not like they don't want to come to lodge. Sometimes they can't. And what a great way to say, this is what we're doing. It cost us $0. And it's not like we're giving a secret. And a non-Mason might look at that and say, wait, what do you mean we're doing a citywide cleanup in Wichita? The Masons are doing that? That's awesome, right? It's just ways that we can communicate to our internal and our external customers at the same time. And I don't think we take those opportunities enough. Take advantage of those.
We absolutely don't. And I might have to take that video idea at the end.
Take it. Make it grow.
A good one.
Make it grow.
I'm actually going into the East again next year at my lodge too. So I'll have an opportunity very soon. We do our changeover in December. But one of the things with the Fraternal Focus, my tagline is inform, inspire, connect. You got to be able to educate guys. You got to remind them why they became Freemasons in the first place, and you got to have something to connect these new Masons to show them and to, inform them.
And they speak a different generational language. They speak a different generational language. Our language is entirely different. We all speak English, kind of, but it's just how they communicate is different. And right now, we have 4 to 5 generations sitting in lodge, and our generational communication is different. We have to figure out a way to connect to everyone.
And you're right. That social media, it's the power of it is unmatched. It can't be
and terrifying.
Yes, absolutely terrifying. And I think about my kids growing up too. It's a scary thing on where it is, where it's going. But at the same time, as it's a powerful tool that can be utilized and harnessed for the greater good of the fraternity. If we allow it to be.
Yeah, if we leverage it. So I want to kind of go to our final question before we part ways. From your point of view, what do you think Masonry should be doing to make sure our legacy carries on for the next 100 years?
Well, I think I just partly kind of said it, but just to elaborate on a few other things too. I feel that the days of to be one, ask one, they're not gone, but they're a little bit behind us.
They're tired.
Just like a corporation goes out and recruits talent, you always need to be on the lookout. If you're a leader in a lodge in the state, whatever, you always need to be on the lookout for guys you might think would be a good fit with Freemasonry. It ain't for everybody, it's definitely not. Right. But there's a lot of good guys out there that, really can be coming through the pipeline. And we need to constantly invest in our future with this too.
We do. And, and here's something simple. Our MSA, we have a business journal. Some people have the Dallas Business Journal, Houston, New York, all these business journals. And in these journals, they'll show people on the move, like, John Doe, 27, just got promoted to senior vice president of this. And they'll kind of show people on the move. I don't know why all lodges, not just us, I don't know why all lodges aren't pulling out a letterhead with their St. John Lodge number 1 and typing up a letter that's signed by the master that says, hey, John Doe, we saw you in the business journal. Congratulations on this. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed in the community. Congratulations on your future success. Signed. It's got a Masonic logo on it, and I'd have a damn QR code. And you better believe if some rando sends me a letter like, oh man, the Masons are congratulating me, I'm going to click on that QR code because it might take me to a cool website or Facebook or a YouTube channel, something that cost us a stamp. Why aren't we doing more like that, right? Because that's your target audience, right? That this young up and comer, or hell, he can be he didn't have to be young, but somebody that's moving in the community. Why aren't we acknowledging it? In our community, there's a thing where we have an officer of the month, law enforcement officer of the month, right? Why aren't we sending a letter to their chief, to their bureau, because you're not going to get their home address, send it, and I'll bet you inside a squad they're going to say, holy hell, the Masons just sent me a letter. This is cool. And that's a target audience. What did it cost us? A stamp.
Excellent point. We're actually going to be doing a Veterans Night we have planned. Not a Veterans Night, I'm sorry. And honoring our police officer night in January this upcoming year with 3 of the local police departments. One of the other lodges in the district does it, and it's a great success. Nice dinner. They bring them in. Each police department gets an Officer of the Year award, and they bring their families in. It's an open meeting. Beautiful. They do a great job, and it's so well attended. The police, the local families really, really appreciate the event. It's nice.
Those are all little things that we can do. One, it'd be great if we get a member, but how cool is that we can basically give our community their flowers for folks that work so hard to serve us. It's nice to be able to kind of serve them. And again, a little bit of attitude, not a lot of effort, just to do those little things to help the community. It's not hard. We've got to pick somebody to do one thing. Joe, I need you to draft the letter. Bill, I need you to fold the envelope. Dan, I need you to stamp it. It's these bites. It's really small bites. Nobody has to be overwhelmed. And our biggest obstacle in Freemasonry is us. That's just the reality of it. We are the hindrance of the fraternity. If we say we can't, we won't.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Dave, I appreciate you coming on the Old Fashioned Masonic Podcast, my friend. It's been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to having you on for other topics and watching the fraternal focus grow. Cheers.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for thinking on me. It was fun to be on with you, and you're right. I do feel much better.